Hi everyone, Nick here. Today we're doing the 8th weekly event on F1 2019. This week it's in China and we're doing a featured event, which means it's more like the old style events where you get given a scenario and you have to complete it, you get a number of points for it and you get a position on the leaderboard for it. Easy. In this case we are going to be Alexander Albon in the Toro Rosso, and we have to get into the points. I mean, that sounds pretty easy, and if you weren't bored to tears by the actual 2019 Chinese Grand Prix, then you'll know that Albon did manage to do it. So let's see how it is. No assists as per usual. We're going to go into race settings and we're going to put it on to 90 AI level. The reason I've done this is because I'm no good at China. Happy to admit that. Didn't want a hugely difficult time. So, objective. After starting from the pit lane at the Formula 1 Chinese Grand Prix 2019, Alexander Albon has plenty of work to do. However, his pace is good. Can he harness this and push for a top 10 finish? Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? So, we start the race weirdly about 5 or 6 corners in. We've already overtaken Lando Norris, who in real life crashed, but for some reason on this is going to get disqualified. Not sure what he's up to. I guess he's just not moving, which makes sense if his car's broken. A bit harsh to disqualify him for that, but hey ho, sure the game. We still have all of the pack ahead of us though, because it's the first lap. It's a 25% distance race, so it's a bit of an odd one. Normally these scenarios are 100% races, but you start about 5 or 6 laps from the end and go from there, whereas this one seems to be an entire race but shorter. So yeah, interesting twist on the usual formula. And you can see that we are catching Robert Kubica ahead of us. The idea is we want to get past him obviously as soon as possible because he's the slowest car out there, unfortunately. We ideally want to get past him on our first lap, so we've set a purple third sector, we get a run on him down the pit straight and we're going to go up the inside. No problems there. He thinks about maybe making a move up the inside, but I'm not having it. So our focus is now going to turn to the cars ahead of us. And you can see that Giovinazzi and Stroll are ahead and they're battling it out with George Russell. Now, unsurprisingly, they are slightly faster than him, what with him being in a Williams, and you can see Giovinazzi's trying to go up the inside, but now Russell's got the inside. Now this is really good for us because it means that we are not going to have any trouble catching them. They're all holding each other up, and we're going to go for the most ambitious overtake here ever, up the inside of both of them into this turn, and it obviously doesn't work. Giovinazzi takes place back, and even Russell's able to get past us, so that didn't quite work. But we need to get a move on, so let's go for a somewhat bold move on Russell. Give him the space on the apex here as well, and he tucks in behind us. So that's job done on the second Williams. We're up to 17th place. So, what about Giovinazzi in the Alpha and Stroll in the Racing Point? Well, we're not going to get anything done down this straight. DRS hasn't been enabled yet, and they're towing each other along. Well, we do close up on them a surprising amount under braking. One thing that we do have up our sleeve is that we're on the soft tyres, and almost all of the cars in front of us are on the mediums at this point. The only one to buck that trend is Giovinazzi, so we want to keep on his tail. Stroll, unfortunately, is a little bit too fast for us in a straight line. That Racing Point speed with the Mercedes engine is too much for our little Honda, even with the VTEC. So we're going to keep tight on them through the twisty first and second corners. I think officially they're about 5 corners there, but you know, whatever. And we get a much better exit there. So we go for the outside, round Stroll. We switch back, go for the inside. He goes defensive. We go for the most outrageous dive bomb ever and manage to get 2 places done. Thank you very much, Jeff. So, fast forward to lap 4 and we've caught the pack ahead of us. We've got our teammate Kvyat, we've got Raikkonen in the second Alpha, and we've got the remaining McLaren in the form of Sainz ahead of us in 12th place. Still 2 places off what we need to hit our objective, but we're going to get one of those places when Hulkenberg pulls off the track to retire. Not the best way of doing it. Now we've got a run on the cars ahead of us, but there's green flags, yellow flags alternating, so we need to time this right. So we're going to go for the double overtake, miles too deep, manage to just about avoid Sainz, don't avoid Raikkonen, who hits the back of us, and I think he gets some wing damage, but we've managed to turn that absolute shambles into at least one place gained. Now the problem I had at this point was that my soft tyres were starting to go off, and having done that massive lock-up, I don't think that helped with either my tyre wear or my temperatures, or both really, because I really started to struggle at this point. I was locking up in pretty much every single braking zone, as you'll see in the hairpin just coming up here. See, there you go. If I'm not a bit more careful, I could have wiped my teammate out there, which would have been very, very poor. So as I was struggling, I decided to come in. Going 9 laps on the medium tyres wasn't going to be a particularly difficult task, so I didn't have any concerns about that. I didn't quite get the braking point for the pit lane right there, because, well, most of the time I use pit assist because that's what my league insists on, and if I'm not practicing it, I'm not going to be very good at it. So I lost a bit of time there, but we're going to come in, put the medium tyres on and go to the end. Now unfortunately for me, I've now dropped to last place, but we've got Ricciardo in front of us in the Renault, and he's done the same strategy as us, so he's just come into the pits and put some new medium tyres on. I also knew from a previous effort of this where I messed it up halfway through, but Ricciardo did finish 10th in that, so if we're aiming for 10th, he's around where we want to be. So how far behind Ricciardo are we? Well, we're going to get a checkpoint here as we go at the end of sector 1, and we are 11.125 seconds adrift of the Australian in his Renault. We need to unleash some serious pace. So lap 7, we did a purple middle sector. We're not going to get a purple final sector, but we are going to do the fastest lap of a race, a 1:36.5. Not too bad. We've gained one place because Giovinazzi's pitted on his soft tyres, and we've managed to close onto the back of Romain Grosjean in the Haas. Now this wasn't ideal because he had pitted a bit earlier than everyone else, and the other cars hadn't pitted yet, so I was trying to do the undercut, and having a reasonably slow car in front of me was not going to help me out. And obviously through this sector, I mean, I tried that stupid overtake through that corner earlier in the race, but there aren't many opportunities to overtake other than the first corner, the hairpin at the end of sector 1, and the hairpin at the end of the long straight. So I needed to make sure I lined Grosjean up for an overtake as soon as possible. It's all about, in sector 2, just keep in touch with the car ahead, because you're not really going to make an overtake unless you're particularly ambitious. So fuel is on rich, ERS is on high, DRS is open. Grosjean goes slightly defensive, we're going to go up the inside, careful not to lock the tyres up, even though we get a teensy weensy little lock up there, and Grosjean, because we've been so cautious, is able to go around the outside. We think about the move into the last corner, but that's just stupid, and we lose all momentum. We'd have been better off tucking in behind him and trying to go up the inside here. Right, so everyone has pitted and we have now gained some places. Sainz has come out in front of Grosjean. That's slowed him down. We're going to go round the outside of a Haas. Can we go round the outside of a McLaren? No. Grosjean's trying to fight back on the outside. We're not going to let him do that. We've got that red arrow, so he's still there. So we need to give him a little bit of space. He's still there. Check behind to see where he is. And we're going to try and outbrake him into here. We're going to brake. That's the job done. Bit of contact there from the Frenchman. Cheers for that. Not sure what you're trying to achieve there. But we are now up into 12th position. 12th is going to become 11th quite quickly, because it turns out that Kubica still hasn't pitted in the Williams and is up in a dizzyingly high 11th. So cheers Bob, but we'll have that place. And that puts us up into 11th. We've also got Perez, who's just about to pit. You can see that Kvyat has retired as well, but he was behind us, so that hasn't actually helped us. So, lap 12. Perez and Sainz have now ended up stuck behind Ricciardo. Remember how we were 11 seconds behind him? Well, that's not 11 seconds now. I don't know how far it is, but it's not 11 seconds. He seems to be struggling. I'm guessing his tyres have gone off a bit more than mine have. So as a result, we've managed to get a bit of a bonus here. So we're going to go down the back straight. We're going to put the ERS on high. We haven't got much fuel to play with, so we're going to leave that on standard. We're going to try and use the DRS, but the two cars in front of us have both got DRS, so it's not really going to help us. Brake nice and early to avoid ploughing into the back of someone and losing our front wing, because that would be absolutely disastrous at this point. And at this point it's looking like Ricciardo's struggling, so he's going to be the way we're going to get through here. If we're going to get this point, it's going to be by overtaking him. Not really gaining down the pit straight there. He's got DRS, so that's going to help him out. We're going to go through the first corner and just try and keep it tight, keep it tidy, and see if we can have a bit of a Ricciardo-esque lunge into the hairpin just ahead. Unfortunately, we don't really get a good exit there, and he's pulled a bit of a gap on us, so we're not, even Ricciardo would lunge up the inside there, gain a little bit and gain even more at the apex, but not enough to actually do anything about it. So sector 2, as I said before, we just need to keep it tight through here, try and manage any understeer we get from following the car in front, don't lock any tyres up, just keep it nice and steady, keep touch with Ricciardo, and make sure we get a good exit onto the back straight, and then we can nail him with DRS into the hairpin. So we're going to be nice and tidy through here, get through there, but we get a little bit more rotation, hit the curb a bit harder, don't hit the apex there, run wide there, and we have to be a bit cautious on the throttle. That's let Ricciardo get away. We should still get DRS though, but it's just too far back. We don't have the pace to be able to catch him. So turn down that AOS, we're going to save it, we have one more lap, we have 3 really good opportunities to try and overtake, so we're going to save ourselves for that. So the first good option for overtaking is into turn 1. Get a good exit through there, a little bit of a lock up, not ideal, but we can put EOS on high, we can put the fuel on rich. Ricciardo does not have DRS, we do. We're going to go up the inside, brake late. We get a bit of contact as Ricciardo turns in on us. I'm not really sure what he was thinking there, but that should be the place done. We have to keep it tidy through here. We don't want to go and do anything silly like spin, but we get a good exit and it looks like we've got the place done. So we're going to carry on, go nice and quickly here, trying to fend. Cars in front of us having a right old scrap. We don't want to get sucked into that and then end up getting held up and then give Ricciardo the chance to overtake us from behind. But likewise, we don't want to just sit back and not threaten them, because if we just sit back, we're just going to be dawdling along and Ricciardo will overtake us. So let's see what we can do. We're going to keep it tidy through here. We're going to turn the EOS down. We're going to turn the fuel down from rich in a moment because we don't want to run out of fuel. That would be hilariously stupid. We just want to get through here, get nice and tidy, stay with Perez so we can get the DRS at least to help us down this straight. I'm not sure if Ricciardo is going to get DRS off of us behind, but we want to make sure we've got it, and we do. So we can use the ERS and the DRS to get down this straight nice and quickly. So make sure we hit the braking point just before 100 metre mark, get turned in, don't lock up, that's nice and tidy. Got one more corner till we're home, a little bit of a wobble under acceleration there, get it turned in, no corner cuts or anything like that. Checkered flag is ahead of us and we've come home in 10th place, which was exactly what the doctor ordered and exactly what Albon did in real life. So tick that box because we've achieved our goal. So there we have the results. We finished 10th, 29 seconds off of Hamilton, who won the race. But only 5 people were able to do a faster lap than us as well, the top 5. We were faster than Gasly in the Red Bull. Methinks it might be worth swapping those drivers around. Just a hint. And in terms of points, we've managed to get 428,562 points. Not the fastest completion time, and obviously not the highest difficulty bonus, but we got a very good clean laps bonus because we didn't get any corner cuts, and that's helped us to get 392nd on the leaderboard, which is in the top 5%. And I mean, while I've done better on previous weekly events, China is a track that I struggle at. So even though I was hilariously off the pace, almost 45 seconds off of Dovey Power 93, who also did that on 110 AI level. Fair play to you. We're still not that far off in the grand scheme of things. We're in the top 5%. So around a track like China, but I consider myself to be pretty weak at, I'd have taken that beforehand. And there you can see other people around us have got faster times and they've got higher AI levels. Because we did a clean race, we get a higher score. Not too bad at all. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, then don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then, well, what are you waiting for? Off you go, click on that button. It's always very much appreciated, so you know it makes sense. And let me know in the comments below what you thought of this particular event. Have you given it a go? Have you managed to succeed and lead Albon to the points? Let me know how it went for you. But until next time, and the next video, goodbye.